Following Israeli airstrikes in October that targeted military assets linked to the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps (IRGC) in Tehran, Iran has reportedly constructed a significant new piece of infrastructure, a defensive tunnel in the heart of the capital. This tunnel, which links a station on Tehran's metro system to the Imam Khomeini Hospital, is seen as part of a broader strategy to bolster Iran's defenses against future attacks, particularly as the country braces for further retaliation in its ongoing conflict with Israel. The tunnel, located near Tehran's center, is not just a symbol of the growing military tensions between Israel and Iran, but also a demonstration of Iran's determination to protect critical infrastructure from Israeli airstrikes. Iran's leadership has long emphasized the need for strategic resilience in the face of external threats, and the tunnel serves as a practical step to ensure that vital facilities, including medical centers, can remain operational even under the stress of military conflict. The connection to the Imam Khomeini Hospital is especially important, as the facility plays a critical role in providing medical care not just to the local population, but also to high-ranking officials and military personnel. The construction of this tunnel comes after a series of Israeli airstrikes targeted Iranian positions in Syria and Tehran, aimed at weakening the IRGC's operational capacity and its presence in the region. These strikes are part of a larger Israeli campaign, known as the Campaign Between Wars, which aims to thwart Iran's expanding influence in the Middle East, especially as Iran continues to provide support to various militias and proxies across the region. The airstrikes on Tehran's soil marked a significant escalation in the Israeli-Iranian conflict, as they not only targeted Iranian military sites but also underscored the vulnerability of Tehran to Israeli military action. In response to these attacks, Iran has been preparing for retaliation. The defensive tunnel, while primarily a means of protecting key infrastructure, also fits within the broader context of Iran's military preparedness and its posture of deterrence. The tunnel is seen as part of Iran's effort to reinforce its defensive capabilities, particularly as it anticipates further escalation. Iranian officials have been increasingly vocal about their intention to respond to Israeli strikes, and the new tunnel is a tangible sign of Tehran's commitment to ensuring its defenses are not easily compromised. While the tunnel's construction is a defensive measure, it is also indicative of the increasing sophistication of Iran's military planning, as it moves to secure its capital and other sensitive locations against Israeli strikes. This tunnel construction, while important from a military and strategic standpoint, also comes amid a heightened sense of urgency in Tehran, as the region braces for further conflict. Iran is preparing for what could be its third direct attack on Israel in the span of several years. Previous Iranian attacks on Israeli targets have been met with retaliatory strikes, and tensions continue to rise as both countries engage in a high-stakes game of military brinkmanship. While Iran has, for the most part, refrained from direct military engagements with Israel on its own soil, it has used proxies across the region to carry out attacks. The construction of the tunnel, however, suggests that Iran may be preparing to take more aggressive steps if it deems necessary, particularly in response to Israel's ongoing strikes on Iranian positions. Adding to the complexity of the situation is the recent U.S. presidential election. The outcome, which saw Donald Trump claim victory, could have significant implications for U.S.-Iran relations, as well as for the broader Middle East security landscape. Trump's administration had previously taken a hardline stance toward Iran, culminating in the U.S. withdrawal from the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, JCPOA, in 2018 and the imposition of severe sanctions on the Iranian economy. Trump's approach to Iran has generally been focused on isolating the country and applying maximum pressure, hoping to force Tehran into renegotiating its nuclear program and curbing its regional influence. Trump's election win is likely to have a ripple effect on Iran's security strategy. While the election result is still in its early stages, Tehran is undoubtedly keeping a close eye on how the new U.S. administration will handle Iran's continued nuclear development and its regional activities. Iran, which had hoped for a shift in U.S. policy under a new administration, now faces the reality of another term under Trump, whose policies toward Iran have been largely defined by a strategy of containment and sanctions. The prospect of further US military and economic pressure is likely to intensify Iran's resolve to strengthen its defensive capabilities, which includes measures like the construction of underground infrastructure and military installations. The possibility of escalating tensions between the US and Iran, combined with the increasing military confrontations between Israel and Iran, could spark a wider regional conflict. The Middle East, already a volatile region, is on edge as these power struggles unfold, with smaller states and proxy forces caught in the crossfire. Hezbollah, backed by Iran, has already been involved in skirmishes with Israeli forces along Israel's northern border, while Iranian-backed militias in Syria continue to pose a threat to Israeli security. With the US maintaining a significant military presence in the region, the potential for a broader confrontation remains high. The tunnel's construction also signals a shift in Iran's defensive thinking, embracing a more resilient and distributed model of defense. This includes not only the development of underground bunkers and tunnels, but also the decentralization of military assets. By securing key facilities deep underground, Iran hopes to mitigate the risk of losing critical infrastructure in a conflict. The fact that the Imam Khomeini Hospital, a key national asset, is linked to the metro system indicates that Iran is planning for a protracted conflict, one where everyday civilian infrastructure could be repurposed for wartime needs. The strategic importance of such underground infrastructure cannot be overstated. In modern warfare, access to operational facilities can be as critical as military firepower. Iran's willingness to invest in such measures shows a growing concern about the vulnerabilities exposed by Israeli airstrikes. By creating secure, hidden access routes for essential services, Iran is signaling its intention to maintain a degree of functionality and control, even in the event of sustained attacks on its capital.